Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to make a pair of earrings using bits and pieces from all of my Blooming Branches kits. Now the original one I only used a couple of tiny beads, but and then I got most of my beads actually out of Blooming Branches 1, and then I'm going to use these pretty ear wires, which is not my normal style, but we're going to use them, from the Blooming Branches 2. I'm also from my stash getting these bells. These are earring bells, and they're just really cool. And some chain. So let's turn down, I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, as I said, we're going to use these bells. Then we have some wires here. I've got these two gorgeous lampwork beads from out of bundle number, I think they're bundle number 1, as well as these from bundle number 1, and the only ones actually from bundle number, the original bundle, are these lovely little tiny green beads. These are from bundle 2, of course. They're very pretty. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take, and we're going to put this, one of these here, in our bail. And from our bail, we're going to put this guy in the middle, and then we're going to have a little chain hanging in a dangle, and on that chain we're going to put a couple of little flower dangles. Nope, down here, you here, like so. Now I do need to get out a couple of spacers. I just realized I didn't have any, but I do have here these little tiny guys beside me here. So we will just use those. There's a little pile, probably more than I need. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these head pins, straighten them a little because it never fails in shipping, they get bent. So then we will and there is our what our little dangle is going to look like. So we will just fold this over right here. And put the other one, to second one together while we're at it. So what's going to happen, like I say, is when we put the chain down the bottom with this guy, what you'll do is you'll open this up enough, put the chain on here, put our bead in, and then put the chain, swing the chain over to the other side and put the other side of the bead in. So it will be hanging, so like this. Where's your hole? Like that, in here. And then the little bit of chain will hang down with this hanging down below it. So it will look sort of like so. Now this will be a long earring. If you don't like a long earring, this one is not for you. But if you have some of these, you could just use the regular one in it and just jump ring it to here. But these two, I'm going to cut the top off. These are old head pins that I don't use anymore because I always use ball head pins. And so I take these and I make them into 3-inch wires by just cutting the top off of them. Now I don't need 3 inches probably, because it's just going to be this bead between the two, and we're going to do that last. You could do it first or you could do it last, but I'm going to do it last. And what we're going to do now is wind these babies up. Now normally I would go to this one, but I'm going to go to this slightly bigger one because we're going to have this going around a chain. So up and over and around, bring her over and then like this. Now ordinarily I'd leave a gap so it could be put on, but it doesn't need it because we're going to be going over the chain. We're going to feed it onto the chain right as we go along. So there we've got this one. As soon as we clip it, and tuck it in. Okay, so there's the first dangle already. It looks like it's touch crooked, so we'll straighten her up. And she will go on a little piece of chain. Now I'm going to wrap this other one up. I could just go on and finish up this, do this earring, but I'm going to wrap this one first. Up and over and around, bring her down and around, lollipop it somewhat, grab hold where they come together, and take your other pliers and wrap. 1, 2, and I do believe that's where we finished with the other one. It was 3, so we'll trim this off. Come here, you, get in there. And tuck it in. So there is our number 2, and it is definitely crooked, so we're going to definitely have to straighten it. So just put your pliers in the loop and push it. There we go. That one's all done now too. Well, it's a little crooked still. There we go. So the next thing we need to do is decide how much chain we need. We don't need very much. We just need enough to go around the bottom of our bead and leave just a little bit of space. So that's probably plenty right here. So we'll cut that link and we will get a second one. When you two get together. Okay, so I think right here. Let's see if I got them the right length or if I've got one shorter or longer than the other one. Look like they're great. So let's pull these off. We can put the chain aside. We don't need it anymore. So then, now that we've got our chain cut and got our pieces put together here, you go over here. We what we need to do is take and pull this apart. This works just like a regular bell. Put our little piece of chain in one side. Find the holes in our beads and put this guy in this side. And then before you push him in, we need to put this little dangle on our chain. Easier said than done to hold this and get it in place now, so be careful. Now we need to take our other side of our chain, and you may need to use your pliers to hold it because see, it wants to fall out. So, bing. So I'm going to take hold of this link right before the one that needs to go in, and I'm going to put it in on the bail. Now what I need to do is get now my bead is falling out. Okay, where's the hole? Right there. So what we need to do is sort of hold it downwards like so, so that the chain stays on while you maneuver your bead on. But the chain just fell off this other side. And this, like I say, is the trickiest part of these earrings, is getting this piece to stay in place while you get the chain on, and then get everything the way it should be. Come on, you. That in link doesn't want to stay where it wanted at. Yeah, that's the hole. So come on, go back where you belong. Now, once you get everything in place, you need to squish your bell back down together. So there we go. See how that looks? Looks like it's still a little loose here, so I'm going to try and tighten it some. Okay, there is this portion of this one done. Now, the last thing, this one goes over here, we need to do is put this top piece together. So what we want to do is take and bend this over, make a loop. Now I'm going with a smaller one this time. We don't need a bigger one, but we do need to leave this gap. So then feed this through here. Come on, go on, baby. Now you hold it. Take your second pair of pliers and wrap, 2-3 times. Oops. Whoa, bent the wire when I did that. And it's trying to go over the top of itself, so we don't want it to do that. So I'm going to just cut that little bent portion off because it's not needed. So now, if when you get this done, it feels like it's up too high on the wire for you, take your pliers, put it in the loop, and then push down from the top and bring it down so it's more of where you want it to be. Now I need to straighten this up because it's bent. There we go. Put our green bead on. Decide which way you want this baby to hang. Either way is fine, because normally I would, care about whether it was hanging one direction or another. This doesn't really matter as long as you get them both the same, because your bead is showing from here and from here. So I like this way with the metal bar, one of the metal bars in the front. So I'm going to put it on here. Now this is another place you need to make a decision here. There's going to be some people who don't want this kind of ear wire. I prefer a lever back or a post, but this one is really long, so I think it would be fine. But if you want to, you could put it on a jump ring right here. But then you've got to remember, now you've added more length. It's already pretty darn long earring the way I've got it made. So that is a personal preference. So I'm going to, now I've got this in here. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but let's take it back out. I fed this in backwards so that when it comes around, it goes to the front. So now we want to grab our wire again. And you could, like I say, leave this off and just jump ring them together, and it would make it a little shorter. And if you wanted it much, much shorter, you could just leave the chained piece off as well. Just put the bail and the see, I cut that a little longer than I probably should have, because it would have been nicer without less of a wrap. But that's all right. And there we go. This earring is finished. Like I say, it's very long, so be aware of that if you want to make this style of earring. It is very long, a little over 3 inches, so it's probably going to be a shoulder duster. You can also make it, like I said, just leave this off, maybe put less beads down here. All those things would make this a shorter earring. Now, also, this wire is going to make it a longer earring because it's going to go into your earlobe, and it's going to part of it's going to be hanging down. So this is, like I say, a very long earring. So just to be aware of that. Okay, unfortunately, I didn't get the camera. It turned off on me while I was, just as I started our second earring. So we put it together exactly the same way as this one. That's being the most difficult spot. And then I decided that that green bead up in the top was too long. It just was too long. So I took it out, cut it out, and I took a Tinky Tot oval jump ring and put these two pieces together. So there is our finished earrings, and I again apologize for it falling apart, for it going off when I was working on my second earring. Hope you enjoy those though. So there you have it. There are our earrings. As you can see, they are still long with the green bead out. So I think they work much better this way. So I think they're really pretty. I hope you enjoyed making these with me. As I said, I'm sorry for the camera turning off when I was working on the second earring and I didn't notice it, but you did get to see the full making of the first one. So these were made again with our Bargain Bead Box's Blooming Branches. The little teeny green bead is out of the original. And all the other beads are out of blooming bundle number 1, and the ear wire is out of blooming bundle, the companion bundle number 2. So aren't those pretty? Hope you enjoyed making these with me. I think they turned out quite nicely. So this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.